another episode of Sports and Discourse with your host Derek Stevenson. And listen, sometimes even though my channel, my show is primarily based around me covering sports and discussing sports topics, every once in a while, I'll venture off into something else. I might do a movie or TV review. I might talk about something that's just relevant to American society or something that's political based. You know, every once in a while I do something different from sports, basically. And actually, this month, a lot of people may be aware of this already, but out of nowhere, I had a mini stroke. And I had made a video and I basically explained what happened, but I hadn't put it on, my show channel or anything like that. I just posted on Facebook for the majority of the people that know me to just, if they was concerned, they could listen to the video and see what happened to me. And now I just realized that, with it being Stroke Awareness Month and me actually having a stroke in Stroke Awareness Month, that I decided that I should go on and put this video out. So I'm going to present it to all the people that watched me on Sports and Discourse, and you can see what happened to me. So hopefully, I can bring awareness to this. And now that I'm actually considered a stroke survivor, this is going to have to be something that I incorporate into my life. And, hopefully I can try to bring awareness to other people so that maybe, I can prevent somebody else from having to go through this. But anyways, enjoy. What's up, everybody? I'm finally home. I'm out of the hospital. I feel pretty good, and I was just going to let y'all know what happened to me, right? But before I get into it, first I want to say thank you for the love and support. Obviously my family and friends, my wife, I knew they was all going to hold me down, but I was actually shocked and surprised that so many people reached out to me, outside of my family and friends. Like, a lot of people would hit me up, asking, they was concerned about me, let me know if I needed any assistance or anything, that, they had my back or whatever. My job was actually, pretty supportive. People that I don't even know that well was hitting me up, texting me, sending me messages, just showing some love, man. So, I just want to tell everybody that I appreciate that, and it meant a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole time I was going through my situation, I felt like I felt a whole lot of love and support, man. So thank y'all for that. But I'm sure a lot of people want to know what happened to me, right? So I'm going to just tell y'all. I've told some people, obviously, but, this is the story, right? So Friday night, I had text my wife, and I was asking her, did we have any plans for Saturday? Because I wanted to record an episode of my show. So she was like, nah, we just got to, she was like, we ain't got to do much, but she was like, I already made some reservations for us to go to brunch. And she said, for my job, they're having a walk out at Keeneland for stroke awareness. And she was like, if you don't mind, let's run out there, do the walk, and then we'll go to brunch. And then, whatever you want to do after that is cool. So I was like, all right, bet. I'll do my show like, around 1 o'clock or something. So that was the plans, right? So I wake up Saturday, man, I'm just kind of tired. So I told my wife, I was like, man, I really don't feel like doing all that. I was like, I'm going to be tired when I end up having to do my show. So I was like, is it cool if we skip the stroke awareness walk? And she was like, yeah, it's cool. She was like, let's just go to brunch. She was like, we'll come home and chill out for a minute, and then you can go run and take care of your business. So I was like, all right, Bet. So everything goes smooth. Handle everything. Then, nighttime, we went to sleep like normally. Everything was all good. Well, she had woke up like probably around 3 o'clock or something. She was pretty restless. She was getting out of the bed. She was getting back in the bed, tossing and turning. She just couldn't really go to sleep. So in the process of doing all that, she ended up waking me up. So, I had got a few hours of sleep in. So when she woke me up, I was wide awake. So I laid in the bed, but I didn't go to sleep for a minute. Probably laid in the bed for about an hour, just chilling. And I was like, shit, I'm going to just get up and go watch some TV in the living room so I don't wake her ass up after she just fell back to sleep. So I still feel good. I get up. I go in the living room, sit down. I'm about to turn on the TV. And she calls me. And she's like, hey, can you bring me a blanket or something? Because she was cold or some shit. So she asked me for a blanket and can I turn the air down a little bit or whatever. So I was trying to respond to her. So I was trying to say, yeah, I'll bring it to you. But I couldn't speak. Like, I just mumbled some shit. I was like, So then I was like, what the hell? So I'm just kind of confused. I don't know what the hell is going on. So I tried to speak again. So I was, and then I was like, damn, like I can't speak. But I still was aware of everything that was going on. I just couldn't actually form no words. So at this point, shit, I'm kind of scared now, honestly. So I run in the bedroom. I ain't even turned the lights on or nothing. And I'm just tapping her on the leg, right? And she's like, are you all right? And I was like, and I know I sound pitiful, but I was like, no. I'm just trying to be like, no, I'm not all right. So I was like, no. I'm slobbering and shit, but I just couldn't say no. So she's like, can you not speak? And I'm just like, So she jumps up. So she's like, she turns the light on. She's looking at my face. She's crying and shit. And then out of nowhere, like I could just talk again. So, she's all upset and shit. So I'm hugging her and shit. And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I ain't mean to, upset you like that. Like, I'm cool. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm good. Just go back to sleep. And she's like looking at my face and shit. And she's like, nah, hold up. And I'm like, what? And she's like, something's wrong with your face. And I'm like, what you mean? Like, she like, your face look a little tight on the left side. Like your lip and stuff is like a little, like it's tight, like it's tightened up. So I'm like, word? So she's like, yeah. She's like, I think you might have had a stroke. So I'm like, nah, I'm cool. Like, I'm good. But I was like, let me go look real fast, though. So I go look in the mirror in the bathroom. And I'm looking at my face, and I'm like, sort of see what you saying. But I was like, I could have just been, like I'm just in denial kind of. I'm just coming up with anything. I'm like, man, I probably was laying on my face or some shit too long. My face probably just swelled up on one side. I was like, I'm good. Don't worry about it. So she's like, nah, I think like we need to go to the doctor. So I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. So I come back in the bedroom and she done put all her clothes on and shit. So I'm like, why you got your clothes on? She's like, nah, we need to go to the hospital. So I'm like, nah, just give me a minute, man. Just chill out for a second. Just let me think. So I'm sitting down and like I'm looking at my hand, my left hand, and like I can't straighten it all the way out. So like it's kind of sitting like this, right? So I'm doing all of these, I'm doing all of this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all of this. And I'm like, I can move my hand. I was like, but the shit feel a little weird. It just kind of feels a little off. Like, I feel like I'm thinking a lot to try to, like, do certain little things that, certain stuff that you can just do instinctively, right? So I'm like, I got to really think it out. I wasn't really in no pain or nothing. I had a little tingle, like a little tingle going down my forearm. You know what I'm saying? It, like, started at my elbow and it's going down to my fingers. It's just tingling a little bit. But, like, I could pretty much move my hand, but it just like I'm looking at my fingers, like I'm looking at this hand and I'm like, this hand's pretty straight. Then I'm looking at this one and I'm like, this one look a little funny though. So she's like, see, that's a sign of stroke. Like, you probably had a stroke. We need to go to the hospital. And I'm like, I'm still in denial, man. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, just chill. I was like, and she's getting mad, you know what I'm saying? So I said, look, just give me like 10 minutes, right? And if my hand is cool, we good. If my hand is not cool, we'll go ahead and go. So she's like, all right, but I think she's still going to force me to go eventually, but she's just not trying to fight with me about it, right? So she's like, okay. So then I was just looking at my shit and I'm still doing all of this. And I'm like, man, it don't feel good. So I was like, fuck it, I'll go ahead and go. But I was like, I'm hungry. So I was like, I gotta get some food. And so we get ready to go. And me not even thinking straight, man. I'm just used to going outside and getting in the car. Like, I go outside and I get in the car and I'm driving the car. Like, after I just had a stroke, I'm just driving because that's just how we do it. Like, no matter whose car we take, if we in my car, if we in her car, I usually drive. She usually ride in the passenger. So, like, we just naturally just do what we do. So we go and I get me some IHOP or something, so I'm eating. So then, I call a few people, like, and let them know, like, man, I'm about to go to the hospital. I think I might have had a stroke, but I'm just trying to, go check and see. So I let a few people go, a handful of people know what I was doing. So we go to the emergency room at St. Joseph, and I'm telling them all what happened and whatever. So they give me a CT scan. So I'm waiting for the results, and they doing some more stuff. They taking some X-rays of my neck. And when they come back with the CT scan, the doctor is like, you look like you about to make a full recovery. You're probably going to be straight. But he was like, I do think you had a mini stroke. So then I was just kind of like, damn, for real? And he was like, yeah. He was like, I really want to give you an MRI so we can just try to figure out, like, what caused it. Because he's like, you so young. He's like, it's just kind of weird. He's like, it ain't, like, completely uncommon, but he's like, it usually, don't really be popping off like that with somebody that young. So he's like, let me just, get some more tests off so we can try to see what's going on. So now I'm kind of like, damn, like, because he's like, I seen something on, like, your frontal lobe that was kind of concerning to me. So when he said that, I was kind of like, damn, like, shit, maybe something's wrong. I started getting kind of emotional. So I'm like, damn, I might have to start, telling some people, letting some people know what's going on. So, because at this time, I didn't even tell my parents yet. I hadn't told my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, only a few people knew outside of my wife. So I'm like, damn, I need to tell my parents. So, I called my dad and shit. I talked to my dad and my mom on, speakerphone so they could both hear me. And I was like, about to tell them, like, I think I had a mini stroke, and damn, I started crying and shit. So I passed the phone to my wife. I was like, man, you got to tell them what's up. So I let her tell them and everything. And then, I called my daughter's mom and I let my wife tell her what's going on so she could tell my daughter. Because I knew if I would have talked to my daughter, I knew I'd have been all fucked up. And then she would have probably been scared and shit would have just, I just wasn't trying to confuse her or nothing because I really didn't know what was going on yet. But I felt like it was serious enough that I needed to at least start telling some people. So, after I let everybody know, people start coming through, people's calling me, trying to see what's up. And they just, they running more tests on me. So I ended up going and taking the MRI. And MRI sucked too, man. For anybody that's ever had to take one, man, those things, oh man, it's super uncomfortable, man. Like, I feel for you. So anyway, so I take the MRI. So they finally give me a room or whatever. So I go up in my room. I'm waiting. They doing more tests and everything. And one of the things that they did tell me was they told me that I had like really high cholesterol. And probably because I just eat so much junk food, man. Like from my job, me just driving, I don't really be having a whole lot of set time to eat while I'm at work. So I just be like just eating a whole bunch of garbage, you know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that I'm going to have to do is make a real big lifestyle change. I'm going to have to start eating a whole lot more healthier. And I got to exercise some, man. And I'm probably going to have to give up smoking cigars, which is going to hurt me, man. But I'm probably going to have to give it up. So anyway, so they come in. They just running all these tests. And, when I finally talked to neurology about my MRI and stuff. Oh, no, matter of fact, let me slow down. They end up doing an echo on my heart, right? So they do this test called a bubble test. And, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like where they like push this stuff. They put some kind of chemical in me and they like put a bubble in. And the bubble's supposed to go through my heart or something, like the heart valves or something like that. And if it reacts a certain way, they can know if like I have like a blood clot or something, whatever it is. So they do this test on me. It's called like a heart echo or something like that. So then whenever I get the results for the MRI, they tell me that I definitely did have a stroke. And the part of my brain, I think it was my right frontal lobe, the part that has some like damage in it or whatever it was, it directly affects like me being able to control my left hand. So, and probably like, that's probably why the left side of my mouth drew up a little bit. So they're like, yeah, you definitely had a stroke. So we just trying to figure out why. So then when they come back with the heart, the results from the heart echo, they like, man, you got PFO. And I forgot exactly what that stands for. You can look it up if you want, but it's called PFO, right? So basically, in a nutshell, what happened was when I was actually a child and they cut my umbilical cord, like one of the valves in my heart didn't close up all the way. So essentially, I've been having like an opening in my heart for like 39 years, right? I just never knew. So basically, this little opening in my heart, it got clotted. And I guess that's what, whenever they got clotted, whenever it got clotted, that's what caused me to have a little mini stroke. And I guess I just been lucky all these years that, nothing ever happened to me before. And maybe, when I was younger, I was more healthier. I was way more active, you know what I'm saying? So maybe that saved me for some years. Then once I done got older, man, I ain't active no more. Eat unhealthy, smoke, drink a little bit. So maybe I just wasn't able to, withstand it anymore. And, so that's basically what happened. So I felt a little bit of relief, because basically they feel like there might be, a way that I can prevent it, right? So what they're gonna put me on a couple of different medicines, like they're gonna put me on a blood thinner, they're gonna have me take some cholesterol medicine. And they said that they're gonna try to manage it with medicine, right? But they are still gonna have me go see a cardiologist at a Kentucky hospital, right? And then they can make the final decision if it's going to be cool enough for me to manage it with medicine, or if I need to have a small surgery. And the good thing about it is, if they do the surgery, they're not going to have to crack my chest open, right? They said that they have a way that they can take like a catheter and go in it, with a catheter and like close the opening up, right? So if worse comes to worse, and they have to close it up, at least they ain't going to have to like split me open, which made me feel a little better. But yeah, man, that's basically, that's basically what happened. So, thankfully, I was only unable to speak for like, probably a couple of minutes. And fortunately for me, man, that I actually got a wife that, she works in the healthcare field. So she's used to seeing the signs, like she knew what to do. And plus she's bossy, man. So, a lot of times we be getting into it because I be having to tell her, quit trying to boss me around and shit. You know what I mean? I be like, man, you ain't at work, man. Like, quit trying to boss me around. Like, we be going through that sometimes. So sometimes I just be like, man, shut up, man. Leave me alone. But, thankfully, in this case, it worked to my benefit because, if I would have been single, I probably would have just sat there and waited till I felt better, and maybe I would have felt better, or maybe it would have got worse, and might not have ever known what was going on with me. But shit, to be honest with you, even if she wouldn't have called me to even like, bring her a blanket or whatever, I might have just sat in the living room and had a stroke and never even known, because I wouldn't even really had no reason to even speak. So maybe I might not even been aware that it was happening to me. Might have fell back to sleep and woke up and my hand was fine. And I never realized that I couldn't speak. Maybe this ain't even the first time. Maybe it might have happened to me before. Like, I just don't know. Like, it's all just kind of scary a little bit. But the one thing that I think I really gotta start doing is, I think I gotta start going to the doctor more often, man. Like, I kind of always been really healthy. I ain't never really had to have no major surgeries. I ain't had no real bad illnesses. So I just never really went to the doctor a lot. So now, I'm going to start probably trying to go like, at least every 6 months. You know what I mean? Shit, I might even start going 3 times a year, but I probably at least need to go 2 times just to make sure, let them, do some tests on me, make sure I'm good, because, man, that was just kind of a wake-up call for me, because, like, even though I knew I was fat, I knew I was out of shape, I knew I was smoking, but I still thought I was generally healthy, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't think I would have, like, no serious, health situation, and I never imagined that I had a birth defect with my heart, you know what I'm saying? So, one thing I would do is I would just encourage everybody to, man, just start being a little more proactive with your health. Just try to take it a little more serious. If you got insurance, man, why pay for insurance and just never use it? Like, I probably had insurance consistently for like at least the last 12 to 15 years. And probably only went to the doctor maybe 3 times. So, if you got insurance, man, you probably need to start using it and start checking yourself out, man, and just make sure you good, because I finally feel like I'm getting at that age now where, my body ain't gonna just naturally heal and protect me from everything. So, man, I just I was just fortunate, man, that I was able to shake it off, and hopefully I'll be able to prevent it from happening again. And I just thank God that it wasn't more serious, and I gotta thank God that I had a wife that really like stayed on me and got me where I was supposed to be, man. But yeah, that's basically the story, man. So y'all just take care of yourselves out there, man. Because I would hate for anybody that I know to have to go through something like that, man, and probably scared a lot of people. And I just got to do my part to try to take care of myself, man. I got too much to live for, so I'm gonna just try to really dedicate myself, to starting to become more healthier, man. So yeah, like I said, I appreciate everybody that reached out to me, everybody that sent me an inbox, everybody that texted me, everybody that came to visit, everybody that called me on the phone, called me through Facebook, everybody, man. Like, I really appreciate it. And it really meant a lot to me, man. Anybody that just commented on one of my posts and, just threw some prayers up in the air for me, whatever you did, man, I really appreciate it. It really meant a lot to me. So, thank y'all, man. But yeah, that's the story. So it is what it is, man. I'm going to try to do better for y'all, and thank y'all, man. I appreciate it.